Look!
Step.
Parkour!
Well, what is it, advisor? The hag couldn't speak to me herself.
Morosa has become increasingly distressed following the rumors and supposed activity within this town, and has talked with the royalty of Evermore to discuss the claim of this fiefdom and your position in it. If you do not cease with the disruption of trade, your privileges will be relinquished.
Enough! You've barked well past your merit. Tell that dog-faced, shriveled old bitch that if she meddles any further with this town... Please, Mortiphane, consider what you're saying. Did I grant you the luxury to interrupt? Address me with my name again, and your neck will be kissing the axe. Yes, I am sorry, my lord. Then you, advisor, relay the message to that crone that if she dares poke her nose within Arnament again, her bridge will fall into the current below.
Understood. I will part with your words so she can hear them.
Step aside.
Gonna keep...
The Lord, in all his wisdom, thinks it's best to terminate ties with the few remaining allies in this region. He never used to be this bitter. And I'm not sure what caused his turning, what with the death of his wife, or the stress of running such a dreadful town. Not so loud, you fool. Don't give him a reason to have both our heads. Speaking of Evermore has reminded me of something very important. Whispers from crows have told us about one of Madas's descendants, who now calls a small hamlet called Tabandra home. Normal Brethans can wield Madas's armour, but none are able to incite the runes placed within them to harness the potential. The same potential that Mados made use of when stemming the Orsma incursion, and where he pulled that miracle at Grey Belmore. Some have also said the armour carries the will of Mara within it too, although I question the integrity of those claims. And hurry. Contacts up the valley spoke of some communion amongst the witchmen to the north, and it'd be best to get all the help we can get.
Need something?
Yeah. Who are you, Oakling? Good day. Nice to see you people haven't been overrun by plague. The moment I hear you cough, though... Oh, by the eight, not again! Will my children be expected to become fabled heroes too? A dozen times at least. And my father before me. Each time someone's horse is stolen or some exile's mugger merchant. Tell me about it. They claim to respect him, yet they put him on display in death. Deny the old man burial for years. You seem alright. And I do hate to make you a bearer of bad news. Let me fetch you some wine for your trouble. Who hasn't? Why? Dark magic. That actually sounds worthy of Rados. You know what? You're right. Last thing I want is to go down in history as Rados, twice as tall and twice as yellow as any. I'm in, friend. Lead the way. That's simple. There was no Reach before that. The Reach is, and always has been, its people. And the Reachmen haven't had a calm night in centuries. Orcs, Witchmen, Nords, Bretons. And it's not like the Bretons themselves get along. You wish. There's a bleeding mess of a kingdom next to ours called Wayrest, and some 14 years ago we went to war with it. King Uta, also called the Owl. Nay, his cheeks. Well, Uta had some beautiful daughters, you see, each one from a different queen, and King Sigmund was quite fond of one of them, something Uta wasn't too fond of himself. In the span of 2 weeks, more than 1,000 men were dead on both sides. Such was the war over a princess's canny. Not when she's 9 years of age. Damn near cost his majesty his head. During one of his visits, Uta had Sigmund taken prisoner, and his retainers banished from the kingdom. Aye, some weeks later. Small wonder he wanted to see Wayrest go up in flames after such humiliation. I was levied 3 days after, and a week later the army was well on the move towards Wayrest. Must have looked weird back in Evermore. Couldn't do it before, so many of his own men were slaughtered, it seems. Funny thing is, I've always hoped to visit the city of Wayrest as a child. Now I'm partly to blame that I never will. Nasty is the word that comes to mind. We were outnumbering them 6 to 1, but the skirmishes were so fierce, our Venturiers had set the countryside ablaze with their spells. Those were windy months, so by the time my unit had reached the city of Wayrest, the smoke was everywhere. And let me tell you, war is hard enough even when you can breathe. Nothing good. The trade had stopped, the crime ran rampant, and in the following years not a corner remained in the entire realm that wasn't raided and sacked. Today one of the base's largest cities is not even worth conquering anymore, and half our military has to guard the border against those who blame Evermore. That's no wonder. It was broken up by the hand-picked squad of scouts. They crossed the border wearing burlap robes and posing for pilgrims. One of them, a devout priest of Mara running an orphanage, paid some guards off to see the molester king and spit in his face. Made quite a scene, you can imagine. He also passed Sigmund a scroll of recall with a mark already placed in the woods nearby. Not a single drop of bloodshed. Well, it wasn't me who told you this, but a certain scout commander from Arnima kind of came up with the whole plan. Wasn't me who told you, friend. Well, I wasn't planning on leaving my friends, you know. I was leaving the town Ravenspring had become. Oh, none too unusual. There was even a joke that that's what you call a temple, a sewer and a wall brought together. However, there was a real sense of community. We were proud like the Reachmen should be. We're older than the 3 empires combined. Most of the world doesn't know we exist, and the Bretons want to believe we don't. Back then, Mortarvane seemed like the finest lord the place had ever seen. Strict but fair, blunt but honest, a terrific swordsman on top of that. Well, the siege of Raven Spring had changed it all. Those 2 months broke some in ways healers could do nothing about. A hero's death, the doom of Grey Belmore, the bodies mounted on the pikes. My father couldn't handle Rados' demise. Took to the bottle, and in the following years there wasn't much left of him. And Mortefane had lost his wife. That alone had made a man once called Maid of Iron, fearful for his life, secretive and cruel. And soon he had the bodies on the pikes make a return. This new Mortefane could have been Maid of Iron, all right. So many he had put to death with it. Anyone could be accused of treason and put to death, neither painless nor swift. So the people were afraid of gathering or even talking too loud. We felt like we were living on borrowed time. No one dared speak up against the Lord, but by that time he was so severely paranoid he needed an excuse rather than a reason. And all of it under the watchful dead eye of old Rados, hoisted like a deer carcass. It was sickening. So I left. Simple as that. Some would say I should have tried to be the big damn hero Jack has had a plan already, no doubt, but it's the soul of the town that was gone, and bringing that back is no task for a blade. And that's the end of my story so far. As always, you foreigners. All right.
Excellent. The man seems to be a tad shorter than his grandfather, but still boasts his impressive build. Have some gold for your efforts, friend.
Who are you, Oakling? What's with the gormless face? I served in the Evermore pikeman militia and helped with the occupation of Wayrest. So I know how to face down a foe at the least. Why so sudden? But I agree. The sooner we can deal with this burden, the better. I was hoping you'd say that. No need in pissing off the entire valley. On your way. Let's see what we've got. Ebony armor. This stuff is a fortune. But I suppose Rados deserved no less. As soon as I put it on, we'll be off. Be on your way.